llamo Alejandro.
And I'm Tracy.
And we're here to tell you how we came to know Jesus. When we met, it became quite evident that learning about God was going to be important for both of us.
And we sought relationship with each other, but it was really the first time in our lives where we really went before the Lord together as a couple, and we asked the Lord for his blessing on our marriage and on our life.
You know, life gets complicated, and you may have all the best intentions to be faithful and to pursue the Lord with an earnest desire. I had finished a seminary with Berean Bible College, thinking that I was called into the ministry. But when economically the bottom fell out, I knew that can't be. If you have small children and you can't provide for them, that becomes the number one priority in your life.
And then I was on a trajectory for just really trying to accomplish and ambitious and be somebody, you know. But all during this time, we kind of just abandoned our walk with the Lord and said, well, you know, I've been doing it pretty good by myself. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, you know.
And then that just leads from one thing to another, and then you find yourself years into a walk without the Lord. And I think that happened to both of us. When we left the service, we both were picked up by the Environmental Protection Agency. We subsequently retired in December of 2022 after about 40 years of trying to do it on our own. But one thing happens when you retire for real, and that is work is no longer. And so your identity, your purposes, your previous motivations for doing certain things, they dissipate. And you find yourself with nothing but a balance of time.
After I had done everything within my power and had a lot of success, I was such a miserable person. No joy, totally anxious, controlling, worrying about everything, and constantly trying to prove myself and get validation from sources that could never, ever validate me. And I really spiraled to be very depressed about everything, and getting to a point of just feeling so desperate, a desperation. And I said, God, I've done everything that I can do. I've spent everything. I'm at the end of myself. So what do I do now? I said, are you even still there? Do you care? Do you care that I'm at this desperate point of, and he did answer me. He did answer me, but in a very unusual and supernatural way. It was actually through my middle daughter, who was living at Charlotte. She said, about 2 nights ago, I was in my bed, and she said, in this giant eyeball. I saw this giant eyeball at the end of my bed. And she said, and then I was told, tell your mother, tell your mother, tell your mother. And she said, I thought it was too weird. I didn't want to tell you. Do you have any idea what that means? And I said, yeah, I know exactly what that means. And that was really, it was kind of a weird thing, but I needed that confirmation that God says, yes, I see you. I still see you. And that's when I decided to start seeking him and learning more about him. And sometimes it's a daily thing. When I surrender to him, then I have, then I know that I'm okay, and I know that I'm safe, and I know that I'm secure, and I'm not having these anxiety attacks at night, and I'm not having, used to have dreams about rejection. I don't have dreams about the rejection anymore. And I have a lot of peace about things. I don't worry about what my future is going to look like anymore.
For me, returning to the Lord, certainly we did our reaffirmation at PBO, and we had an earnest heart about that. There's no doubt. A year ago in February, I was in the hospital for 6 days, and I believe God healed me. I know God had his hands on me and that I was going to be okay. And I remember saying to Tracy, I'm changed. I'm different coming out of the hospital than I was going in. I need to pray for the people in need. And I need to do what I can with the time that I have left to honor the reason why I'm here, the purpose that God has for me. But I spent 40 years knowing what was expected, but not stepping up to the plate and doing it and living it. I'm not going to do that with the balance of time that's left. And that's how we came back to Jesus.